Get in the comment section for me, Who Dat Nation. Would you trade Derek Carr back to the Las Vegas Raiders? We're going to dive into this idea because there is some NFL trade buzz that the Raiders are interested in shopping for a veteran starting quarterback in the league. So we got to talk about the obvious. Derek Carr back to the Raiders. Would you do it? NFL free agency is about to kick off with Monday beginning the tampering period and Wednesday free agency officially opening up. So we're going to dive into some major Saints rumors, not just about Derek Carr, but also defensive end Chase Young. So be sure to hang out through the duration of this video. But let's get right into it. Dianna Russini, she put out this tweet early this morning, and I already made a short form video about it. So if you haven't seen it, I highly encourage you to check out our shorts tab. I already gave some quick thoughts, but we're going to get into a full breakdown and my full reaction here. Very interesting here. This note right here, it includes the possibility of trading for a current starting quarterback. I know a current starting quarterback. I know one that some Raider fans really, really want. It's this guy that you're about to see on screen, Derek frickin' Carr. It's one of those conversations where, look, I understand that the Saints and Mickey Loomis have said, we're rolling with Carr. He's our guy. We feel like we can win with him and all that good stuff. But, you know, I also will say this. I'm not necessarily sold that the Saints are going to go this route. It just doesn't make sense financially, in my personal opinion, to restructure Derek Carr and just try and do this whole song and dance again next year. Just start it now. Why would we indulge on this if we know he's not part of the long-term plan? And, you know, when you look at the cap savings, that does make things pretty interesting. A pre-June 1st cut, you save $11.3 million, but if you make him a post-June 1 cut, you don't get that money until after June 1st, obviously, and you don't get that trade compensation until next year's draft because the draft is obviously before June 1st. But you do save $40 million, and that, to me, is, you know, something worth exploring. Not to mention, things have just not ever been that good with around Derek Carr, and, you know, I'll just go ahead and pose the question, what are we going to learn in year 12 that we haven't learned in year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way through 11? I mean, he has a losing record, 77-92 in his career. He has 0 playoff wins, and he's at the point when he will make his money for this season. He will have made $200 million over the course of his career, a big old goose egg in terms of playoff wins. I literally have a better playoff record than Derek Carr, just for what it's worth. So do you at home, unless you played in the NFL for some reason. There are Raider fans. This is just, you know, calling what I see. There are Raider fans out there that are foaming at the mouth thinking about this because they would love to get DC4 back in the silver black. There's also Saints fans who want to get Carr the heck out of the black and gold. So, yeah, there is definitely fans on both teams that would love to see this trade go down. That being said, Derek Carr does have a no-trade clause, so that makes things kind of interesting. If he wants to get traded, he can. He would just have to be willing to lift his no-trade clause, which, again, you can do that. He'd just have to be willing to do it, and he would have to do it. I personally think that a Carr trade is just very unlikely. It feels like the Saints are going to run it back with him. Maybe they do go and draft a Jackson Dart. Maybe they do go and sign somebody in free agency. Maybe Spencer Rattler is somebody that they let start at some point in the season. But in my opinion, week 1, your starting quarterback will be Derek Carr. It just feels like that's where all roads are leading, and you know, it doesn't feel like there's a true backup plan in place because we still have to see more from Spencer Rattler. Jake Haener clearly isn't it. And, you know, maybe you add a guy like a Jackson Dart, Jalen Milroe, Quinn Ewers, or somebody like that in the 2025 draft. So a lot of different things could happen around the quarterback position. Again, I want to address the fact that, yes, Mickey Loomis said they're going to roll with Derek Carr, but again, I just don't see how it makes sense. Maybe things change. Maybe they don't. But, hey, we're going to talk about it until a restructure is official or until the cut is official, until a trade's official. We're going to keep breaking down this idea every step along the way. And really quick, I just want to say thank y'all so much to just supporting me and supporting the show over the course of our career here at Chat Sports. Saints now, we have eclipsed 10 million views. So cue a milli by Lil Wayne for me, Colin. Subscribe for Saints now. Saints videos, live shows, all that good stuff. We're going to be live during free agency. We're going to be having all sorts of great content throughout the offseason, the regular season, the draft, every step along the way. Be sure to hit the sub button. So let's talk about some free agency rumors because I believe that the New Orleans Saints actually do have a good chance to bring back edge rusher Chase Young this offseason. I think that it would be a good idea for New Orleans to bring him back. And I'm going to tell you why in just one moment. But really quick, if you guys need a new cup, I'm a guy who likes to drink coffee. On the weekends, I like to throw down some brewskis. And this cup right here is going to help me stay hydrated and maybe catch a little buzz this weekend. I got mine, chatsports.com/Saints Cup. I highly encourage you to do the same thing. The link is in the comments and description of this video. So let's talk Chase Young, because if you guys remember last year, Pretty Ricky, he was all over NFL rumors and stuff before media and like before the big journalists were having these scoops and stuff. And I'll tell you right now, he's already been pretty accurate on some reports this offseason already. He is even putting this report out, that the Saints have agreed on extension with Chase Young. It has not been official. It has not been announced by anybody except for him. I just want to make that very clear. So has it happened? I don't know. Rick says it has. Nobody else has. But again, rumors. We're going to talk about it. I also think these hashtags are hilarious. Patos rules, Lent season, filet of fish season. That's just pretty damn funny. But let's go back in time to a report from Jeremy Fowler about free agency for Chase Young. He even said that he expects the Saints to be involved in a potential re-sign. And a lot of teams have Chase Young very high on the overall pecking order in terms of the pass rush class in free agency. In case you didn't know, obviously the production last year for Chase Young, only 5.5 sacks. Want to see more. That being said, in terms of pressures among all edge rushers across the National Football League in the regular season, he was 7th in pressures across the league among all edge rushers. That is really, really good stuff. And honestly, I really think that Chase Young could be a big-time beneficiary of the new coaching staff under Brandon Staley and with the new scheme under Brandon Staley and Bo Davis, who we'll talk about in a moment. But Chase Young last year, 31 tackles, 5.5 sacks, 66 pressures. That's some really good stuff. Can we turn those pressures into production? That's the big question. That's what I want to see. And a big thing for him, too, is going into last season, a lot of questions around his health. And this year, played all 17 games. So he put those questions to rest. He was fully healthy for a season. But we got to see the production get an uptick. Here were the Saints sack leaders in 2024. Chase Young tied for second with Carl Granderson. Brian Brzee, as a defensive tackle, was number 1, and it's pretty cool to see Alontae Taylor as a cornerback be top 5 in production. But, the fact that it's 4 sacks is top 5, I'm just not too happy about that. I want to see more out of the pass rush unit, and that's why I think Chase Young should return, and that's also why I think this Bo Davis hire was such a good move. He's a well-respected, very highly regarded coach from the college football ranks. He's been with LSU for some time now, and I think that he could do absolute wonders for Chase Young. But I also think he could help out guys like Isaiah Foskey and maybe even Cameron Jordan as well. There are other options as well in the draft and in free agency. Maybe a Joey Bosa you want to go and get, or what about a Josh Sweat, something like that. We could see some big changes coming to the defensive line, and the defensive line definitely needs more talent, and you need to add to it. Honestly, in free agency and in the draft, in my personal opinion. So I personally am in the boat of let's bring back Chase Young. And if you are too, let me know what kind of contract you would offer Chase Young. If you don't want to bring it back, just let me know and tell me why. Saints fans, y'all stay golden. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you guys for NFL free agency.